Well, Prepology decided to take this meat tenderizer and make it even better. Because when we've offered this before, I think it had 49 blades. Now Prepology got a hold of it and made it with 72 stainless steel blades. Susie Hassan is the woman who is tenderizing this steak. And what she's doing is she's blasting the seasoning in. What I like to say is that all these blade channels give the spice a road to travel.
Yes.
So now, with every plunge of this meat tenderizer, 72 blades are breaking down that meat, but they're also giving all the seasoning or the marinade a road to travel. Susie Hassan, welcome back.
Great to be back.
Nice to see you, friend. Yes. This is one of my top 5 must-have items in the kitchen. I get interviewed by a lot of publications who will say, what are the top 5 things that QVC offers in the kitchen category that you think every home cook should have? And I always say a meat tenderizer.
You do.
Because whether you're grilling, whether you're cooking protein on top of the stove, you need to prep that protein. Now, if you buy boneless, skinless chicken breast, it's really good, right? Because it's low in fat, it's high in protein. But it's also very low in flavor.
Yes.
It can also be tough as shoe leather unless you tenderize it. Now, if you get one of these mallets and you get after it, you're going to mutilate it. You're
terrible.
going to, I mean, you're going to tenderize it, but at what cost, right? This is going to maintain the integrity of the shape while blasting that seasoning or giving the marinade a road to travel. Now, you can cover that with a liquid marinade and then tenderize it. You can tenderize it first and then pour the marinade over it. However you choose to do it. This is a remarkable tool. 72 stainless steel blades.
And you're creating hundreds of channels. And let me tell you this, my husband, I do love him, folks, but I'll tell you what, he's the worst critic for at-home steak. I don't even like making steak because he's always sunk. I always got to say something, and he knows it. And you know it, Chris, you know, okay? Now, here's what I did. I used this on the steaks, okay? I didn't tell him I did, okay? So I was like, oh, how's the steak? I'm expecting, here comes the critiques.
Here comes the litany of...
He goes, it was actually good. Because he's such a critic, finally, he said it's actually, I was like, oh, because it's the tenderizer.
All right,
so
before
we
go through colors, let's grab one here that hasn't been dirtied up yet, and let's talk about the safety mechanisms and how this one is different than things you've seen before.
Absolutely. So here, okay, as you push down, 72 sharp stainless steel blades are going right into the protein. So as you push down, here they go, they come out. So when you're using the seasonings and the marinades, or even just the olive oil and the salt and pepper, it's getting all the way down into that protein, so it's going to make it nice, flavorful, juicy, and delicious. And with steak, it's going to help all the fat in the steak to help distribute within the steak.
And render down and really
absolutely.
Make it delicious.
Now here at the top, you're going to see it's a lock and unlock system, very easy. So you just turn it to lock and then turn it to unlock. You can also take the entire piece off if you want to pop it in the dishwasher because it is dishwasher safe. So the whole piece comes right off.
And there is a little cup.
And a case cover.
So this is the case cover, so pop it in there.
Yep. Now it's safe and pop it into a drawer. It's as easy as
now,
that.
if you've got a dishwasher, fine to put this in the dishwasher. It'll sanitize it at the same time that it will clean it because it will go into all the nooks and crannies. If you don't have a dishwasher, then run your water as hot as it'll go in the sink. Use a little antibacterial soap. I'm a big fan of that stuff that sprays out foamy. And then let it get good and dry, and then put it back together, put it in its little cup, and then store it away. Just choose your color. They all work exactly the same way. 400 of these are gone already, and this is our new tenderizer going forward. You're not going to see any that you've seen before on air again. This is the new and improved model, okay? This is the tomato, or are we calling it tomato? Tomato, cracked pepper. This is ocean blue. This is aqua. Most limited in the aqua, and then finally I have it for you in lime. This is only $18. You might want, 500 of these are gone. You might want to get 2 different colors. That's what I do, so I can do mixed grill, right?
Oh, yes.
That way I don't cross-contaminate. I can tenderize and season the chicken. I can also then do pork or beef or whatever. So you might want to get 2 of different colors. Get 2 of a different color, I should say. And then that way you can do it. Now, this is pork chop bone in.
Yes.
You want that bone because of its flavor, but you also want to blast that seasoning in.
Absolutely. So I've got my seasoning. Now, as I'm pushing down, the 72 stainless steel blades are going right through that pork, okay? And then it's going to create hundreds of channels because I'm doing it several times over.
I'm going to, and go through that fat a little bit
here we
too.
go, here we
because
go.
I want you to rend, if there's any fat, if you're not trimming it off, then tenderize it because it will render down when you cook it.
Oh, so good.
And that fat will add great flavor to what you're doing. Now, these are barbecue pork chops.
Yes.
Yum.
And here I have one that we actually did earlier just to show you. Look at all the holes in there. So as you're using the seasoning and the marinades, take a look at how it's going right through that whole pork chop. So you know when you're cooking it, it's going to be
Those
so
little
tender.
tiny channels.
Yeah, little tiny channels. So you're going to get such juicy, tender,
Now,
flavorful meat.
over 1,000 are gone. And we have 600 people waiting to place orders, and a lot of those people are buying more than one because these are only $18 a piece. Now, this is flank steak. Admittedly, not a very expensive cut of meat, but also tough as shoe leather if you don't tenderize it, right?
Absolutely. So this is one of those, again, make everything so much more flavorful by tenderizing it. And I've seen people, use a fork, which is fine, you can do that. But are you getting 72, channels, right?
And
with
be
each
careful
time?
to do like Susie is showing you. If you need to put 2 hands on this and put a little back action into it, then do it. I want you to get all the way through that meat. You don't want to just stamp it. You want to plunge it. Because when you plunge it, she's giving all that marinade a road to travel and all that flank steak. She's also breaking down all the sinewy parts of that flank steak. So when this gets grilled or cooked in the oven, it comes out fork tender.
So good.
It's so good, and it'll be so flavorful because flank steak is a lot like chicken breast. If you don't put some seasoning on it, it's not very good. So it's going to be important. And all you need to do at this point is choose your color or colors. And I'm over at my favorite spot. I love sitting here on the corner of the sink. This is the tomato. Okay, tomatoes available. Then cracked pepper, 1,500. Ocean blue, 1,300. Aqua, 1,300. And finally the lime. 1,200 left in lime. $18. 72 stainless steel blades. And yes, it is dishwasher safe. I'm gonna give you a little elbow shake.
And my marriage is still intact.
See there?
See miracles.
Well,
miracles.
and your husband is even more impressed with your steak producing
that's
skills
true.
now.
That's true.
He doesn't even know your secrets. We don't want to tell him. All right, now it is still